And then we have strategies that are put in from the elevate side. And then he's also introduced recently a little bbit more of an embryo strategy um, to try to generate more of that top quartile. So that kind of is a quick snapshot of the tools that we use. And yeah, it allows us to try to progress to fill more quota with less cows is kind of the goal at this farm, and have a very uniform herd that are healthy and have good legs at this farm.
Now I'm going to switch to the phone and we can show some sorting tools. Start with the go app.
So Paul's going to show us the CMX Go app, which is a pretty easy app to navigate, I would say. It allows you to look up in both Canadian and American numbers if it's something that you're interested in as well.
We're not on yet. Ooh. Yeah. So do you want to talk through this?
So here, Paul obviously has it set up for Holstein. If you're Jersey, you can have it set up as Jersey. So you can mark your preferences.
Oh, no. Didn't like that, did it? Oh, here we go. So preferences.
So you can pick your breed. You can pick your, if you're on LPI, TPI, I'm assuming Pro Dollar, I think as well.
Yeah.
The language, net merit. So it's allows you to do it in a lot of different ways. If you prefer a couple breeds, you can select them and then just toggle left and right. So it shows you some of the bulls in each category. You can select show proven only. You can select certain things, like if you're an farm that was aiming for A2, you can select that. Or if you want to look up red and white, it allows you to look up different things as the top ones ranked for you. So punch and pedo obviously being A2. So if Paul, if you click on punch, it'll show a lot of detail about punch in all the different categories. This is the LPI side. And then if you wanted to toggle to a TPI side, you press the globe. And that allows you to see it in through the American numbers because they have their own proving system as well. And here it shows you the pedigree behind punch. And you can do this as well. Like if Paul, if you want to select the on the bottom
Filter.
for the filters, if you want to look up a bull, so let's look up a certain, do you want to do a production cutoff? So if you want to look up the bulls that are over, let's say 100 fat, and let's say 5 for confirmation maybe. And maybe let's do 100 for daughter fertility. And we already had A2 selected. So this should show us the top A2 bulls that are of that criteria. So obviously punch already was one of the highest LPI. It has those traits, but if you slide down, you can see some that would be taken out because they don't hit those thresholds. And it kind of shows you if those are things you're looking for, it'll eliminate it. You could have it where you raise the confirmation to, let's say if it was 10, you might have a lot shorter of a list, but yeah, it kind of lets you get a quick snapshot. That might be bulls that stick out to you that you go, wow, they bring a package that is hard to find. So yeah, it's a pretty easy interactive app. And then there's even an option to look up any sire from any company. If you are curious, let's say you're interested in a bull and you don't know its TPI numbers from a different company, you can do that too by looking up in the search items. So in honor of John Sunder leaving, we can do chief for fun. I think it's loading a little bit longer because it was just C. So if you click on the chief, and you can click if you want to know the TPI numbers, if that's something that you like, you could see its numbers, and then you can flip to TPI as well, which is something that I find pretty cool in the app. If it's something where maybe you're trying to market to both markets, I mean, you're interested in a bull and how its TPI numbers are, or maybe it was a bull presented by a company that was TPI, you could see how its Canadian numbers are pretty easily.
So I also like it for its ability to show immunity numbers. So if we go back to the CMAX Bull late show, you can go to the CDN site, but it won't have the immunity numbers. So here we can see that he's 114 for immunity and 111 for calf immunity.
And another handy thing in this app is it tells you the semen fertility quite often once there's data. So up there, right under daughter calving ability, it will show you semen fertility, and that's just a handy thing to have to know if how that bull has been coming along. I use it as a rep quite often too. If the farm's focus is quite high on the semen fertility side, I will try to find those bulls that are over a certain level. If that's the measure of success, then that's what we will look after.
So the point is this app is available to anybody who wants to use it. If you want to find out how to download it, we can help you with that. It's pretty simple and it's very, very user friendly. I use it a lot. I'm sure that other producers might as well.
And I think it could be fun to keep your rep on their toes if you want to search up something and put a high bar and ask about a couple bulls. It's a pretty easy way to do that.
Do you want to just quickly show again the Elevate app on the phone while we have the phone connected here?
Sure.
I guess I should have downloaded. I did.
So on the Elevate app, it allows you to see how many genomic animals they've tested. It shows you the ones that have conflicts under that. So this is something we're working with Hosting Canada. It can tell you what the issue is. So some of these are being processed. Some of them might be, in this case, it was an animal where it was a Hojo that he hadn't actually registered yet. But it allows you to solve some of these things with Hosting Canada from your phone and not having to call in. And then in this case, Paul has it selected on the genomics side. So you can rank them from highest to lowest or just check up a number. So if a cow does something really good in the barn, you can always look up through this app some of the data points it has as well. And you can filter kind of who's the highest on your client index as well. So some of the traits, if you want to do a quick lookup on a female in your barn, maybe she stood out to you and caught your eye, you can look up that animal and see, or maybe she producing a lot as a 2-year-old to right out of the gate. You can quickly look up and see the data points on that animal. And it also in the app will show you who you're sending in genomic samples right now, which would be the pending, and then sampling who it suggests you should sample. So some of these are older in his herd that he hasn't sampled. At the time we had started at 10 months at his herd. And then the goal there was to have the best genetic data we could to make the best decisions for heifers because of how many females we were generating out of the heifers.
So how does Derek do it? TSU to cow?
So TSU to cow, you would be, if we dropped off a box of TSUs, you'd scan the box it would show up in your screen, and then it allows you to mate or match that TSU to an animal, and then you just use a gun to genomically sample the animal. So some boxes come in 10, some come in 100. And then tag TSU to combo is the Holstein Canada tag that comes with a TSU as well. And then they have a specific thing where when they do the tag, it also takes a genomic sample, and then you can send it in through the reg number on that TSU sample.
Okay, so now we go to CDN site. I'm going to switch this again.
So this is another industry tool. So Lactanet and CDN kind of work together on this side. So some of the cool things you can do, you can look up individual bulls, whether it's through the registration number or even the females if you toggle over. And you can look up a group. So you have the ability to look up, if you just want to look up proven and certain different, let's say you wanted red in the influence or you wanted to be A2 bulls. CDN and the Lactanet site allow you to look up any bull if you have certain carriers that you want to work with. It allows you to also look up just from those ones. So there's a lot of information that you can use on this side. So on
So
PA,
maybe to make it more interactive, let's get somebody to give us some criteria for a search.
does anybody have some criteria they like to see on their farm? We'll start with A2. And then we can do query refinement so anybody have any other traits they like to see as a threshold at their farm? Pardon? So what do we want the fat as a threshold? Do you want it 100, 100? 120? We'll go with 100. Anybody else have a threshold that they like to see?
That's a pretty good benchmark, 100 fat, 100 or 10 type. So how many bulls do you think there will be?
You want me to search that or you guys want to add anything else? Let's see it. So this is A2, 100 fat. So this is the list. A2, 100 fat, and 10 for confirmation. So this is every company. I know it may just look like it's CMEX. I say that with tongue, but a lot of these are proudly, we've been doing well in that category. So Milan is the top LPI animal that's A2 and over 100 fat and 10 for confirmation. And then you can sort by any of these. If you're somebody that thinks that protein's gonna start being paid well, you could sort by protein. If you wanted to see the top confirmation with that level of production in A2, then it has Zard at the top. So it's a quick way, and this was every company, this wasn't just one or two. It's a quick way to see who is kind of how difficult it is to get certain things together.